Hey guys, it's Michelle. I wanted to take a second to share with you a strategy that I found this week to increase the engagement in your classroom. And this strategy is specifically designed for the end of a lesson to help you land a lesson and do some cooperative learning, some teamwork activity, and really give you an really great opportunity to gather some formative assessment about what your kids understood from the lesson that day and what they kind of felt was important. We all have in our heads what we think is important for the learning that day, and sometimes that might not translate in our instruction. So it's a great opportunity to see what the kids thought was the essential learning for that day, so that you can either refocus and recalibrate for the next lesson, or you can kind of carry on in that direction. So basically, information improv is an opportunity for you to group your kids into small groups and have them act out the essential learning from that day. So if you were doing a history unit or you were doing a lesson on explorers or Native Americans or something, you would have a group of students come up and act out what it was that you were talking about that day. So maybe they're acting out the timeline that you added to that day, or they're acting out what it was the explorers were eating or interacting with while they were exploring. Um, there are a couple of ways that you could group students for this. One idea is that you say, who thinks they can summarize our learning today? And you take some volunteers from the class to just come together. They kind of have a conversation for a couple of minutes, and then they act out their learning, and they have to feed off of each other and figure out how they're going to summarize the learning for that day. And then you could have the class kind of give feedback to that group that had volunteered about how well they did in summarizing their learning that day. Or maybe, hey, you forgot this piece, or I think this piece was important, or you spent a long time on that and that wasn't as important as you may have thought it was. So you could have volunteers in just one group doing this summary. You could also divide your class into small groups, have them put their heads together for a few minutes, and then each group would act out the essential learning from that day. And maybe they're feeding off of each other. Maybe they can only touch on information that wasn't covered in someone else's presentation. There's a lot of opportunities. And the idea is that this is a quick thing. This is not a big project that they're writing out and belaboring and all of that kind of stuff. This is a quick, let's see if we can put our heads together, feed off of each other, and tell people what we learned today. So I hope that this was helpful. I would love to know if you decide to try something like this in your classroom. I'd love just to come to be a fly on the wall. Or if you would like a little bit of assistance in helping your kids kind of navigate this new engagement strategy, please send me an email. I would love to come and work with your kids and work with you in your class to increase engagement, which if we can increase engagement and we can do a bunch of formative assessment and we can kind of be exciting and fun, our students are going to learn and remember for a lot longer than if we just have them take a 4-page test on the learning from that day. So hope this was helpful. Try information improv, and I will see you next time.